But today I want to talk about the fractal geometry of the fall. So first we have to clarify what fractal geometry is. This is the concept in chaos mathematics that there are naturally occurring systems that, if you zoom in, remain the same regardless of what scale they're at. So it infinitely repeats down to a smaller and smaller increment of observation until the limit approaches zero. It just keeps going down all the way. A good way to think about this is if you imagine a mountain. If you were to take a picture of a mountain and zoom in on part of that mountain, you would find inherently that it looks like a mountain. And you can do that again and again and again and again. Even 3 specks of dirt on the ground, if you zoom in, can look like a mountain. Even 1 speck of dirt can look like a mountain. They aren't uniform. They're not orbes. They have rough surfaces, every speck of dirt, that if you zoom in, every single ridge or nudge on that speck of dirt looks like a mountain. There's a really cool example of this called the Mandelbrot set. I'm no expert in it, but you should look it up if you're interested to learn more. It is an equation. When the results are presented on a graph, the results are this beautiful array of patterns that repeat infinitely as the limit approaches zero. So I want to liken this to the fall. And the fall, the story we all know, God says don't eat the tree, eat from the fruit of the tree. Eve eats from the fruit of the tree, and the bond between man and God is irrecoverably broken, and they are cast out of the garden into history. So that seems like one choice, one action by one human being. But let's look at this the way you'd look at a piece of fractal geometry and see how it plays down to lower and lower levels, closer and closer examination. But throughout the course of any person's life, there's moments where they face the same choice that Eve had to make, tempted in the same way. And you could come up with an endless list of these, but let's just talk about a few of them here today. Well, we have a middle schooler who gets a chance to cheat on an assignment. That is the wrong thing to do, yet they have the chance to disobey God's law and do that. Or someone who has the chance to sell out a coworker for the benefit of them gaining more status in their boss's eyes and put them on a better track to promotion. Once again, we see a potential moral break, a violation that someone can be presented with. Or how about in a family? Let's say you have a sibling or a parent who you're on the outs with, and you know you are right. You've been right for years, and they just won't relent. And you have that temptation to just ultimately estrange them. So here we see how, from fractal geometry standpoint, that same situation Eve was in plays out in key moments throughout one's life. Now let's go a level deeper. On any given particular day, don't we all have the choice to be prideful, to be derogatory towards somebody else? Don't we have the choice to engage in gluttony or lust or greed? When you look at your day and you understand just how many chances there are for you to bite that apple and commit the sin and directly do what God told us not to do. And now we've talked about the Eve level. We've talked about the episodic level when you evaluate someone's entire life. And now we're talking about the daily level, but you can go one level beyond that. In every thought you have, the thoughts that pass through your mind, what you think about when you're bored, what you think about when you're driving, in every thought you have, every idea you conceive of, every plan you hatch, you have that same choice. Does this choice glorify God, or this thought glorify God, or does this thought disobey Him? We have the chance to bite the apple, so to speak, every single day. It's not just a few times a year when we see the big moral moments and we walk away praising ourselves that we were able to take the high road or do the right thing. It's not just in the daily battles where you sit back at the end of the day and say, at least I didn't do X, Y, Z today. Look at me, I didn't do X, Y, Z. I'm really winning this game. I'm currying favor. I'm doing good works. But really, when you take it down to the ultimate lowest level of analysis in the life of a human being, we find that in every thought, you have the chance to either live in God's will or disobey God. And then we see the fractal, because what it looks like up here, you zoom in, it looks like the same, you zoom in again, you zoom in again. It's the same picture going all throughout everybody's life, going all throughout creation. Every single day, in every single instant, we have the same choice that Eve had. Thank you, and God bless.